So, episode 51.
Yes, sir.
Of the MikiDz Podcast. We are back.
Man. Yeah, man.
We are 1 week away from our 1 year anniversary.
We sure are.
We've been doing this shit for 1 year.
Really?
52 weeks.
52. Episode 51.
I mean, to be honest with you, this could be probably 1 year now, but
yeah, we
I'm pretty sure we've done a couple snuck in extras or a point B.
Oh, yeah. We definitely did.
Whatever.
Damn.
But
yeah.
Time flies.
It does.
Seems like this was just an idea that we were pitching to the bosses, and here we are.
Indeed.
So, quite the progress. How are we feeling, fellas?
Good. I had an interesting conversation with a booker.
There you go. Those are
and you know what? I'm gonna leave names out. I'm gonna leave cities out. And I just want to remind everybody, we here on the MikiDz Podcast don't encourage bullying, and we're not here to pick on people, but we are here to educate. So if there's bullying that comes out in the form of education, then so be it.
Right.
We've all had our fuckboy moments, and we've all had our desperate moments of reaching out to bookers and saying some wild shit to get their attention, or just whatever it takes. You get the mentality of, I gotta say and do what I gotta do to get into this club.
Yep.
With all that being said, a booker shared this conversation. It wasn't even really much of a conversation. It was just a DJ requesting. This DJ had been on this guy for a minute to get booked at his club. And so they've had some exchanges. I think at one point the booker told him, I don't handle my business over Instagram or social medias. Email me your press kit. And I think the guy followed up again, and then the booker said, look, man, I'll ask around. I don't know much about you, but I'll ask around, and I'm not going to promise anything, but he's just being honest, as honest as he can be while leaving the door cracked open, because the booker at the end of the day just doesn't know this dude like that.
Yeah.
So time flies, time goes by, and this was sent out about a few weeks ago. So we're in the middle of a pandemic and in the midst of a race war.
Right.
And this is what the DJ said to the booker. So funny. I follow you, and the city is the third state I become a leading DJ in. The city being the city that he's
correct. Got that.
Living in.
Okay. All right.
Again, I follow you, and the city is the third state I become a leading DJ in. I spin all over the country for some of the biggest people in the world, and just notice you never accepted my friend request on Facebook, nor did you follow me on Instagram. Wow. Makes me laugh. You take care, and wish you the best with a thumbs up. Go.
React.
Man,
listen.
What you got?
This fool is stupid. And he's desperate. And I say that with all due respect. I don't.
No. Don't fucking throw respect on that.
Listen.
Fuck that shit.
That's. I don't even know what your intention or what you expect to get out of that approach. Like, what?
Yeah.
First of all, you started off saying it. We're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
And a fucking race war where everything going on right now. And you hit me with this shit. Shit is not even open yet, bro. Why are you on my head like that?
Well, some cities are.
Some cities are.
The city that Booker works in is open. Doesn't mean they're booking DJs, but it's
regardless. You don't know what that Booker's personally got going on, or how heavily they're involved in the pandemic. Maybe they have a family member that's been affected.
Sure.
Etc. We can go on and on in the deep.
Right.
Let's just touch the DJ scratch surface of it.
Yeah.
Like, you think that's just how you're going to get booked from a spot? Regardless if that DJ accomplished the things that he said in that.
What's the booker going to say? Oh, man, my bad.
My fault,
you
bro.
right.
You know what? I was blind and now I see. No, my nigga, he's not going to say that.
Yeah.
He look at this text message. Even if you are really that was the third, you're a leading DJ in that city. And like I said, everything that you said you are in that text message, you really are. That conversation would never need to happen because that booker would already have his or her eye on you. So why do you feel like you need to explain yourself to someone? Cool, you hit a booker up a couple of times. They don't respond to you, or it's a very minimal response. take it with a grain of salt and keep it pushing, man.
Mhm.
Be understanding, keep it. I don't know, man. Listen, go ahead.
Mike,
Look, man, in life, if you ever feel like you're owed something, you deserve something, you got something that, like, you deserve a humble pie, because it doesn't matter what your accomplishments are. At the end of the day, if you're meant to work with somebody, it'll happen naturally, organically. You can't force somebody or hold a gun to their head and say, yo, like, are you stupid? Like,
I mean, you can, but
you can.
it's probably, again, it's not the smart approach.
what was the 6ix9ine line? Are you dumb, stupid, or
Dumb, diddy, dumb?
No.
That nigga really is.
Yeah. But I mean, at that point, you're just putting yourself on the shit list. And of course, like, this is going to rotate around, some of your peers, and people are going to see and reflect how you
it's going to end up on a podcast.
Or end up on a podcast on the largest DJ company in the world. I don't know. Things can happen.
I don't know.
People know people.
Yeah.
It happens. But I don't know, just stupid. Personally,
It wasn't. Can I ask you this? Did the booker that shared that with you, did he share his response to that?
He did. You guys want me to get into that?
I would like to see how he handled it, so that we're giving our opinion, but let's see how an actual booker.
Was he professional or a petty route?
I mean, all right, wait. Before you say it, what would you be mad if it wasn't an unprofessional response?
No, I wouldn't be. I'd encourage it. Actually,
No.
I mean,
I know you
listen.
would.
I mean, we're petty. We have our petty moments.
Look,
I should say.
If you guys ever see the Mag Park reply to the comments,
yeah, we've seen that.
you can count on me being the person behind them because, well, I'll take accountability.
Hey, man,
I want the smoke.
Hey, listen, I'm not mad at you. All right, Joe.
So he basically said, in regards to the whole Facebook thing, I have 5,000 friends. Everyone knows when you have 5,000 friends, you can't
get any more friends.
So,
and I can verify that.
That's the cap.
Look at Mike. Flex. Hey, go ahead, Mike.
I got a friend.
What? I got 5,000 friends.
No, I'm not saying I don't have 5,000 friends. So if you guys want to request me, go ahead. Small plug.
Mike's
you're
open
saying
for
you
request.
requested that booker?
No, that person requested me.
Oh,
And then even if they requested me,
you still can accept it.
I couldn't accept it.
Yeah,
That was it. I was just confirming.
got you.
Don't be trying to put something up, Joe.
Then he said, again, I have to explain to you, this isn't where I hold the business. I do it over email. If you take not following you on IG or Facebook as an insult or find it funny how you're a leading DJ all over the country and I offended you in that matter, that's on you.
Pause. How many gigs have you guys gotten out of DMs?
None.
I can't say I haven't, but it hasn't been.
I can tell
it's
you,
definitely more email.
Dave. I've had gigs inspire from DMs.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but not
sure.
like, yo, this is my rate. This is what we're going to do. And the deal was done right then and there.
Right.
Maybe, but again, that came from like small talking off of something that was non-DJ related.
Right.
So I guess you could say none. Right.
And how many times have you gotten engaged from telling somebody that you're
It's
caliber
the best
of DJ?
I've never said what caliber of DJ I am, so none. I've never really done.
Yeah, look, this isn't the way to go about it. Clearly, I don't know. Maybe this has worked for this guy in the past. I don't know what it's. I don't know where his successes come from, but this definitely isn't the way to go. Again, to Rell's point, if you're the man in your city, then people would have heard about you, especially if you're in a big city or a city that's popping or whatever. But this, for all our younger listeners, lashing out like this clearly has nothing to do with the booker. This is about you not being able to control your emotions. And you're probably going through it. You're probably broke. You're probably struggling. And that's understandable, but this isn't the way to handle it. And understand this opportunity isn't for you. I understand you see other guys getting these opportunities, but you got to understand this. Just because all these DJs are getting it, even though no one's getting shit right now, doesn't mean that you're being left out in the cold. This shit just isn't for you. They can say the same about the bookings that you get in your city where you're the king. There's can be another DJ saying, wow, this guy's getting booked. How come I'm not getting booked? Or he can be talking to your booker the same way. And I guarantee you'll look at that. If that booker shared that conversation with you, this guy will be like, oh, what a chump. Or, well, come on, man. You got to be more professional than that.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't the way to handle it. And just for all you guys, understand this shit just ain't for you, and you got to keep it moving.
Typically, the reason you're not getting booked and you're concerned about why the other person getting booked is you need to look in the mirror, not look at what they're doing.
Yeah.
Reality. It starts with
I
you.
feel like this is something that we constantly express on this
Don't
podcast.
be a dick.
Yeah, but it's funny because we've never had
be a
like
dick.
this.
We've never had like an example, like a out example of it. You know what I mean? You're right, but clearly,
And I promise you, 95+% of us, no DJs missing out on a set from us.
yeah.
Even the guys that get paid 10, 20, 30K, they're not missing. There's so much talent out there. There's so many great DJs that can fill the void or that they can just go directly to. Like, this isn't the way. If you're trying to grow, especially in the city, and again, to Mike's point, people talk. This guy, this booker, you don't know who any of these bookers are connected to.
Exactly.
They may work with different cities. They may work with different bookers. So if the next booker goes to this guy and says, hey, this so-and-so is asking me for booking. I remember he spun out there a while ago, or have you ever heard of him? Like, actually, I just got this from him, you know? Like, it ain't pretty at the end of the day because you couldn't control your emotions. So keep it together. I mean, we're all going through some shit right now, but y'all got to keep it together.
And hopefully common sense kicks in for those that you should know better than to approach.
Yeah, and if this is you, whether I was reading your text or you've done this before, this isn't like trying to throw shots at you or make you feel small. Like, this is just an opportunity to hear what you sound like and understand how ridiculous you sound. And this isn't the way to get bookings.
This is not shots,
like
and then hit this nigga with a fucking cannon. This is not shots being thrown at you.
It's called tough love,
Here's
bro.
this bazooka.
It's called tough love.
It's called kill him.
It's called be gone.
How ridiculous.
God.
But yeah, all right. We can
Anyway,
move on
we
from
can
this.
move on, please.
So in Vegas, there is conversation of lounges. We won't say what company or companies, but there is thanks to all the DJs that went live, and I'm not taking a shot at you, but I'm being cheeky about this. Thanks to all you guys that went live, this perked interest in bookers and thinking for our lounges where we can save $1 or $2 and get around some laws that may permit DJs from spinning, like actually physically being there and DJing, we are going to have live streaming. We're going to pay DJs to live stream from their house into our lounge. So is this going to be a good thing or a bad thing? Will it stick around? Well, what do you guys think?
For the DJs, I think it's going to be a great thing.
Okay.
Because this is something that we talked about a couple of pods ago about how you can monetize that and you know, package that up and what it would look like. You know what I'm saying? If multiple lounges are hitting you up about doing some streams. No, they're streaming. I'm assuming they're streaming from their cribs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They're streaming from their homes. So now, you know, I can, as a DJ, if I'm a DJ, I can look at it like, all right, cool. I can present 2, let's say, packages to you where, in a sense, I can give you some exclusivity and I'll just stream for you and it'll be this price. Right. Or I have the opportunity to stream to multiple venues at the same time who are running the same hours, and you'll get probably like a cheaper price or something. And
a company would typically have X amount of lounges.
Exactly. If you want to do it at all your properties or whatever, like I think for the DJs it'll be a good thing. Now, at the same time, us being club DJs, you know whatnot, we feed off the energy. So I guess, I mean, if you're already doing the streaming, it'll work in your favor. But you know, feeding off that energy, I guess it'll be harder to quote unquote read the room. Sure. If you can't physically
set a camera.
I mean, if you can see the camera and if you want to set it up like that, but I don't think that energy would translate over.
How many times have you been in a venue and just because the booth is too high,
it's just a little disconnected. Yeah.
So let alone like watching it from home, like you're checking on your puppy, like it's not going to be fun. I mean, I think it's a
well. Do you think it'll work out for the club? What the club's goal is, not even so much for the DJ.
It depends on who they target, right? Like what their budget is, like what their goal is. Is their goal to profit more, or is their goal to have a vibe. Like
Yeah.
where's the value? And I think ultimately, like, in knowing how the streaming capabilities work, like, it's not an easy like plug and play. I think you're better off just having pre-recorded mixes playing, because if you were to do multi-lounge, every lounge is different or every venue is different, so you're not going to really run towards it. There's the only real benefit of a live stream is possibly taking care of like people that they sell tables to and try to cater to them.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention there is going to be a request option or the opportunity.
Yeah,
the DJ will be a human jukebox.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like, that's what can you expect?
Yeah, but how much
you
are
know
you
what I'm
paying
saying?
that guy?
Yeah,
Right.
but that's what I'm
willing
saying.
to take that.
Just willing to, but I think that's why it's a great opportunity for the DJs to just come up off some money. You know
At that point, man, have that fool pull up with a little controller, put him at the bar, make him look like a bartender.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to how much are you paying these guys. I don't think it'll last, to be honest. And I could be 100% wrong
Yeah,
about
because
it.
eventually they're going to open up spots fully.
Well, even when they fully open up spots, clubs will always figure out a way to save money, right? So they say, well, if we pay this, I'm throwing numbers around, I don't know, but if we can pay this guy $200 and he gets to stay at home, and it saves us an extra $200 as opposed to if he was physically here, paying him $400.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna save that extra $200. But I don't think you can beat having a DJ physically there and vibing off them. Now, if it's the type of event or not event, but lounge or whatever it is, if it's the type of environment to where they're not feeding off a DJ, like watching, like, I don't know, you guys been to Bond Bar or at the Cosmopolitan? Okay, I'm just that as an example. I'm not saying these guys are doing it, but they have a DJ there, and I've seen D Miles spin there a number of times, and people vibe with D Miles.
Yeah.
But it's like a little lounge. It like, it only holds, I don't know, 50 to 100 people, something like that on the floor. So you can vibe with D Miles there. Now if it's a situation where they don't even know where the DJ is, sure, stream it. Give the DJ an opportunity to get some tip money. If you're telling him what to do, if he's a human jukebox and all the owners know there's one thing we hate, it's a request. Let him set up his Cash App or his Venmo, and let him make a little bit of money on the side off of this. But I don't think you can beat the human experience of having a DJ there and feeding off that energy.
Yeah, but again, it just, like you said, it just depends on the spot. If it's a restaurant, if it's a lounge that doesn't depend on it, fuck it. You know what I mean? Let these DJs get their money off that shit. You know what I'm saying? For all the sakes. But obviously, if a spot is like, yo, no, we want to vibe in here. You know what I mean? Right. That's how we know where we're gonna get the, we're gonna make the most money, regardless if it's tables, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. We need a vibe, and we need to create a vibe in here, and that's how I know these people are gonna spend their money. Right. So then, obviously, you need a DJ in the building, in the venue, to put, to create and provide that vibe. But if you're a restaurant, we just came from a sushi spot. You telling me there's a DJ streaming in there? Oh, I'm coming back. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, that's.
Think of STK. Do you think it's it creates an interest for STK because they have DJs at the Vegas one?
Yeah, they used to have
in LA, right?
DJs do their stuff all the time.
Yeah, and I know. Yeah, we know all the DJs that have ran through STK.
But STK built up a reputation. You know what I'm saying? Like, they build a reputation to provide a vibe. That's why they have DJs. They
spent that money in the beginning, and they adjusted.
You know what I'm saying? I think I think if you've already have adapted that type of reputation of being that type of venue that provides vibes by having in-live DJs, then it may be harder for you. But if these are just, maybe new restaurants, a lot of businesses are coming up because a lot of businesses are closing due to this whole quarantine thing. So if you're a new business and you got a new approach, or you just want to switch shit up, I think it's a great opportunity for the venue and the DJ. You know what I mean? Like, Tuesday night, how often are DJs spinning? Not saying that a lot of DJs don't spin on Tuesday nights, but the average DJ is not spinning on a Monday, Tuesday night, right? If a spot is known, we go into this spot. They got a cool little happy hour from 5 to 7. Live stream DJing. Let's go. Let's pull up.
Right. I think if you have just damn near every lounge or situation like that in Vegas doing this, and you have that one lounge that says, "No, we want the authentic feeling of a DJ," and they start killing it.
Yeah.
everyone's going to start bringing back DJs again.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it takes because it's
100.
everyone just chases trends.
I agree with you that I don't think it's going to last.
Yeah.
For a long period of time, but I think the right now moment it'll be a great move for a lot of venues, especially because they can only go up to 60% capacity or depending on what state they're at. Yeah.
Well, slightly different, but not. Remember when video DJs were a thing?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yeah, they're going to take over and do it but it never panned out.
Yeah.
And it was too much work for the video DJ because he had to load up a few hard drives worth of videos and all that. I think this might be one of those situations.
Yeah, true. I think the issue with video DJs is you had actual videos playing. Like it was a distraction.
Yeah.
A lot of people would be on the dance floor watching the videos.
Right. That was a big issue. That's why I never really took off.
Yeah, that was a huge issue.
Because you had some talented guys crossing over to do that.
Crazy talented dudes. And
Insert Coins had
and the way that they did it was the way that some of these guys did it was crazy, and I was like, "Oh shit!" But I think this is kind of different. You know what I mean? As opposed to
if they got the chat, you know what I'm saying?
Chat room?
If they got the chat room, it might go.
I don't know. That might be a distraction too, though. In a
I mean, you don't want people on the floor reading like, "Oh, what's he saying? What's he saying?"
Or people on their phones like this trying to tap into the thing. Yeah.
It's a lounge though.
It's in a Dodger game.
Showing
the tweets. Yeah.
I think you want to provide that audio as opposed to just you still want people to mingle. You want people to like interact with your bartenders or servers or whoever and shit like that. But
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I want to talk about Greg Groovez' latest idea. It's called Streamix, and I really want to bring it up because I feel like he's a friend of the pod, and I feel like he's one of our own coming up with something new. Like I don't know anybody at Mixcloud. I don't know anybody at these other, websites and streaming platforms and whatever. So I definitely want to show love and highlight what Greg has, and I also want to encourage DJs to hit him up with questions, or just ask. Maybe we didn't provide enough information, so the DJ can say, "Yo, this won't work because of." Greg wants to know why all your ideas won't work, just so he can make the platform better.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, Greg has created a streaming platform where you would pay. It's a video platform, and you would pay a subscription for this, for him to DJ, or you pay a subscription for his DJ videos. So it's basically him DJing for 20 minutes, 90s hip hop. And this is catered more specifically to, because I know a lot of DJs are going to be like, it sounds like he's undercutting us, but this is catered specifically to the small bars that wouldn't have a DJ, billiard halls, bowling alleys, restaurants. And basically they will pay around $250 a month, somewhere to $250, whatever you will pay Spotify for no ads to keep the music flowing.
Mm-hmm.
And he has multiple videos with multiple genres that are mixes that you, the owner of your bowling alley, can put up on your screens. So it looks like you have a live DJ. It feels like you have a live DJ because he's mixing it up and it sounds smooth. It sounds great. He's playing all your favorite songs. Will this work, or will he have a hard time with this? Think about it. If you can get Lucky Strike on board, that's like 20 plus venues or so right there. Across the country. So there might be situations where one company can expand to a plethora of opportunities.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
What's stopping? I mean, again, a lot of these questions and a lot of this conversation is going to come down to Greg's ability to clarify, because we don't have him to speak to.
Yeah.
But if I'm Lucky Strike, why don't I pay the $250 and then utilize the stream everywhere? And then
he'd have to set up plans. Like if you want to stream at these multiple venues, then it will be more than $250, I would imagine.
Yeah, but how would he track that?
Yeah, I don't know.
They usually have that built into, like Netflix. You can only have 5 accounts.
You can do that.
Yeah, but no disrespect to Greg, but he doesn't have
Netflix,
the technology that Netflix has.
Well, he can just say, look, you Lucky Strike you guys have 20 venues. Whether you want to stream to all 20 or not, that's on you. But this is the price because you have 20 venues.
But
we're here just playing devil's advocate. So
Lucky Strike's argument could be, well, I don't plan on streaming on all 20 of my platforms.
I mean, what's stopping me from getting having him? I'll sign up for it, and then I record all of his mixes, and then I redistribute them to all my venues.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of holes in it, and it's just this is the idea that he's coming up with. That's why he's asking for the questions, right? Yeah. So he can fix with them.
And also you could probably look at it like pay-per-view. Like if you want to watch the next Mayweather fight, it depends on how big your bar or venue is. So you got to pay extra.
Yeah, but that's bigger. That's a live event, and that you probably wouldn't replay more than 3 times.
Right. Yeah, he'd have to have a number of mixes ready to go, because if these guys are going to record his mixes and then replay them, the regulars are going to be like, "Yo, I've seen this mix before. I've heard." Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So that could benefit him, because he'd be like, "Yeah, you can play that same shit over and over again, but
that's what I'm saying." But how often is he updating these videos? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he'd have to put out a lot, and he's also open to having other DJs submit videos, and he's not sure how he would pay them, whether it be royalties based on how many streams your video gets, or just a flat rate for the month. But he's open to having other DJs involved. This obviously would take a lot off his plate.
And how far can you expound on genres that aren't new? You know, like you can only go so far without playing too many B cuts that would hold or not hold.
Well, how many '90s hip hop songs can you play in a mix that people know, right?
Probably a good couple hours worth, but even then, like if you're selling this to a venue and somebody who works there, like it's tough.
But also, people when they're at billiard halls and whatever, bowling, they're not really paying attention. They're not looking to dance. It's more just a background thing. And when you have the visual, again, nothing can replace a physical DJ being there in my mind. But but at the same time, on that same token, those venues aren't looking to book actually have a physical DJ there. So he, it'll just be background music and just having someone there.
I think a good idea would try to treat it as more as a streaming agency.
That's an idea.
He wants to get more DJs involved.
He has a platform.
He has a platform.
Yeah.
He wants to get more DJs involved. All right, cool. Lucky Strikes calls me and says, I need a DJ for 4 of my venues on Friday night from 10 to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I got DJ such and such. He can, stream for you. I got such and such to do whatever.
I like the DJ we had last week.
I like the DJ
have
that
him
we
do
had
another
last week. What you call it?
Shit.
That way, every time you do call him, it's still it's still a fresh feel. It's not the same video that you played every day this week. You know what I'm saying? If you want, and if Lucky Strike, like for example, I'm only saying Lucky Strike because we're using it for example, but on Monday they want a different vibe. Like, listen, we got an event going on or something like that for 2 hours. Can we get some 80s music for 2 hours, or what DJ can provide that? And then Greg treated like an agency. All right, cool. I got this DJ to do it for this company, et cetera, et cetera. I think that would be a good idea to approach it that way, as opposed to him constantly having to update, 20-minute videos or something like that.
It would definitely make his life a lot easier if he brought, and I think his plan is to
bring in more DJs.
And also he did find loopholes to where he wouldn't get sued by the labels of doing this. So I'm sure that's on some minds of copyright infringement.
I mean, how would that be any different than
playing a mix?
Or just playing at the actual venue?
Yeah.
There's just,
if they wanted to be dicks about it, I'm sure they can find the labels, but
like retail stores are supposed to license music.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
I mean, shit, you be like, I'm playing Spotify.
That you can't.
You can't say.
You're not supposed to be.
No. What the fuck? What are you supposed to do? Play elevator music?
No, there's like
Figure it out.
there's like a service.
Make your own music.
There's a service.
There's a service. This is like an agency.
That's where BMI and ASCAP come.
Yeah.
Performance royalties.
Got you.
And sound exchange too.
But yeah, I mean, I think it has potential. I think the idea has potential.
It's a starting point.
Yeah. And, obviously that's why he wants the question, so that he can be like, oh, okay, I didn't think of that. Or, maybe, but.
And shout out
And
to
look,
Greg.
yeah, shout out to Greg. And DJs are going to be like, spots are closing. We'll get into that, but spots are closing. You know, you're getting less and less opportunities. So I think DJs will be interested and hit him up to see what they can work out. But yeah, hit up Greg. The website is called Stream Mix. That's with 2 M's. Or Stream Mix with
2 X's, right?
2 X's in the mix. Yeah. .com.
Two
Or
M's.
just hit up Greg Grooves.
It's 2 M's and Street Mix.
Yeah, no, I saw that. But yeah. And speaking of venues closing,
R.I.P.
Oh man,
yeah.
The one, the great, the
We've-
most
we've
discussed
talked
on this
about
podcast.
Yeah, right. I was just about to say we talk about that spot so much.
Well, who are we going to talk about now?
Yeah, shit, nobody. Ain't nobody.
No, we ain't got nobody. We got no venues to talk about.
Yeah, RIP to Playhouse. Shit, they've been
Man.
open since
11 years.
Yeah,
11 years.
just to
bro.
give people some history. When right before AM had passed away, my house was the club in Hollywood. We used to go on every
Best club
Wednesday.
ever in Hollywood, man.
If it wasn't me and Sean, we would try to do me, Sean, and Rel because it was
like,
hard to get in.
Yo,
But
that spot.
yeah,
Wait,
if
that
all
one?
three of us got in, we would have got there.
When
We got
you
there
spun
super
there-
early.
When you spun there,
Oh yeah.
when you spun there, and they let me and Sean in, but they didn't let all 4 of the girls that we were walking in.
Because one of the girls
like,
was big.
listen, I didn't want to say that, Joe, but
Nah, but
you know,
that's what it was. That's Hollywood.
Hey, listen.
That's Hollywood.
But it's the same thing with them
It's
not
Hollywood.
letting one of us in, or it was too many guys, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's just like, all right.
But at that point, we became so cool with the door guy. He was
Yeah.
just like, but we still, even though we were cool with him, we still had to get there before they opened, just to like.
yeah. we had to be here. Listen, I'm here early, but still.
So Playhouse opened during the last so many months of AM being around, and Playhouse was like the new hot thing. And then when AM passed, it was a wrap for my house, and everyone started going to Playhouse, and it was like the hottest girls, the hottest everything. You know, had a great space, and it was tough to get booked there too. It was real hard. And then they should have shut down some years after that, but stayed open.
Yeah.
They would go head to head with Supper Club. Should have shut down, stayed open, got creative, stayed open, and towards the tail end, or just towards the last so many years, they did a really good job of figuring out who their crowd is, who they want DJing, who they want spending money,
Yeah.
and they just cater to that, and they found their niche. And I thought that was great to see, because in Hollywood, you try and play the game of what clubs do before they die, and it never works out. But Playhouse is like, no, we're going to go this way and do it, be creative, and it worked out.
What's the average lifeline for clubs in Hollywood right now? Like 5 years?
Probably.
That's like max, though, right?
You got
Yeah.
a good, strong, like 2
2
years,
yeah.
and then those promoters are hopping over to the next big group of clubs that just opened. So now you got your B-list promoters who are still going to bring in money, but
Yeah.
your minimums are a little lower, your bottles are a little lower to some
Yeah.
degree. And then it's just like, then you got your C's, and then you take some industry nights off, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's where I give Molly a ton of credit, because she's kind of, let's call it the second wave, you know, when it comes to the operations at the venue, because we know Playhouse in many different uniforms. If you will.
Man, who you telling? I think I was around the second one,
Right.
not the first one when that shit first opened. No, I was
Yeah.
barely getting in that bitch.
Right. And so, and the way, you know, she treated people, the way she
Yeah.
was just, you know, working with not only promoters, but just creating partnerships and the ability to like keep people happy and opportunity. And also, you know, that room, again, as we've said it before, like that's probably one of the toughest rooms to play for.
Yeah.
But the most fun.
Yo, when you got it, you got it.
Yeah.
When you got them,
Hospitality was
when you got them, and you
second
got
to
them.
none.
Mhm.
Shout out to Jermaine.
Shout out to Peso, Yep.
Josh,
Butch.
Larry, Butch.
Yep.
Freaking man, so many people.
And Playhouse looked great on the gram too. There's a lot of clubs that just
Yeah, always
yeah.
look great. Bro, it was on Dickie.
Yeah.
Dave's on Dave.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You know, so
Man.
and sorry for whoever I didn't mention. I'm gonna offend some people possibly, but shout out
Um,
to everybody who.
I feel like all of our friends throughout the years had an opportunity to promote, DJ, and just get a crack at that place.
Bro,
Yeah.
a legit clothing brand popped off from there. Popular demand.
Man.
Yep.
I would not know of if it wasn't
For Playhouse.
Yep.
Marley, Brandon, Rio, like all those guys. Like it really like they did something very unique from there.
Yeah.
And so a lot of things happened there that were great.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, shout out to those guys. I'm sure they'll figure out their way around.
Yeah, you're always excited to see what's next.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what is going to evolve in that space. And
Yeah.
and
I mean, it might just be nothing, just like Supper Club is
yeah,
nothing
it might
now.
be. You know what I mean?
It's a good space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Supper Club is a good space too. Though.
Well,
that's a huge space.
For those that don't know, these clubs are on the east side or eastern side of Hollywood Boulevard, which is not the prettiest, but there are a lot of old theaters on that side.
Yeah.
So Supper Club used to be a theater, and then Playhouse. You see the marquee on both. Both have marquees. They were old theaters that they turned into clubs. But you know, it's going to be hard to pack or get a decent amount of people. And those are big spaces.
Yeah,
Coming
they
off
are.
a pandemic, like I ain't mad at them. Like, yo, we'll move on. It's a wrap.
I don't know, man. Speaking of that, because we can flow right into what you saw
Well,
at Penthouse.
it's different when you're the biggest day party, arguably, in the country.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is think about opening a new spot in Hollywood right after the pandemic, right after everything is able to open up, and the right promoters or whoever get in there.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll have no problem filling that place up.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
You talking about Penthouse or just?
I'm talking about if
Playhouse?
whatever new comes out the space of where Playhouse was at.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll have any issue. And I mean, now is the time. Like shit, we gonna be in this fucking quarantine.
One thing I've noticed about Hollywood since when you and I were doing social and just whatever, it was always a shift. So when we were doing social, we were on the wrong side. Everything was in West Hollywood.
Man.
Air Foxtail, all the cool spots were in the West side.
over there by Robinson.
And then Supper Club and Playhouse, and then before that, My House. So and then you had my studio, same owners, My House. So everything shifted over to the east side, and a lot of people were like, yeah, but it's crappy over there, it's dirty over there. Like, yeah, but it's all popping off over here. SBE had a handful of locations on the east side. And then Supper Club closed down, and Playhouse was like the only club left on that side. SBE closed their venues down, so everything shifted back west.
To the west. Because you had Poppies over there. You
had the H-Wood properties.
Yeah. Yeah, most of La Cienega.
Yeah.
Although I will say Tao was in its own little bubble on that corner. So, and they are Tao, they're X
they
Factor.
just recently opened up in the last, 2 years?
Yeah, no, they're an anomaly. They don't need to be where the trends
they built a whole fucking hotel.
They were
there.
smart. I mean, they got the hotel to basically be the hub,
and
then extend from there, and you don't even have to leave there. Right?
Yeah.
They made a really nice hotel.
You can literally spend the weekend on that corner.
Yeah, and not too far from that, Penthouse reopened. MikiDz our Penthouse correspondent. You can you can take it from here and say what the minimums were and what the vibe was like.
You didn't go, did you?
No. I jokingly was put on the gram that I'll see you guys there, but that was only for the full purpose of photoshopping Marley's unemployment card.
Wow.
That he was going to use it for the table.
That's funny. The EDD card?
The EDD card.
Yeah.
Mountain Views everywhere.
Oh, man.
So, but no, I wasn't there, but I was in touch with some of the guys running the show.
Shout out to Dre Sinatra.
Yeah, shout out to Dre Sinatra.
And
Crucial.
Charisma was there. Yeah.
And Crucial.
I kept an eye on their, I'm sorry, Crucial, yeah.
Yeah. So Crucial, DJ'd, of course. And then, from according to the gram.
Like they never left.
Planes coming down, coffins coming out.
And to tell them the prices for those that don't know.
So if you were trying to reserve a table upon announcement, and I don't know how many tables they did, so I'm gonna guess somewhere between 11 and 15 based on the layout, and one floor and how many girls they had. But the starting price was $5,000 minimum for the tables, pre-tax and tip. Of course,
pre-tax and tip, of course.
And then what I saw last minute, because they sold out within the first 24 hours, was that if you wanted to bump, because this is a real thing,
it is,
and not the kind of bump you think.
Nope.
It's another Hollywood bump.
I mean, they could provide that too, but
I mean, allegedly not there.
Not there, allegedly.
Yeah, we don't speak for them, Rell. But you could table
Rell
bump.
just snitched, low key.
Yeah, low key.
Go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
So table bump.
I'm just telling you what happens in West Hollywood.
Still snitching.
That ain't
You're
even
still
West
snitching.
Hollywood
You're
no
still
more.
snitching. All right.
Anyway, to get to the point, you could bump somebody off of their table if you come and spend more. In this case, if you wanted to bump somebody, so for you to potentially piss off a client and that they have their reservation set up, the minimum was $10K last minute.
Yeah.
So, which I'm pretty sure happened.
I'm sure a couple people got bumped.
Yeah. So, and they might have got bumped on the dance floor because there was a lot of people. There was a ton of people.
Listen, man, Penthouse was and is making real money. Like they are printing money over there, and they're in a new location too. They what happened with the old one? They just renovating or some shit.
So that was the
same owners.
From my understanding, same owners, but I believe the terms on the property changed.
Okay,
and so the owners decided to get a new venue, which was the old Hollywood Athletic Club on Sunset
Boulevard.
Huh?
It's Boulevard, right? It was Boulevard.
The spot, you mean?
Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Boulevard. Boulevard 3, right?
I don't know.
Oh. The old Hollywood Athletic Club is where where we used to be.
Yeah.
So it's an extension of.
Oh, it's the big room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the old Hollywood Athletic Club on Sunset next to Warwick.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, so that's what they took over. They have the capabilities to go up 2 floors, but they've only done one since they still were kind of warming up, and then the pandemic hit, and then now this was their way, and they're following all CDC requirements or whatever the requirements are for the city. I believe the reason why they're able to be open is because they're a brunch,
right?
They serve food.
They're serving food.
Yep.
And so every table was serving
smart.
food.
Yep.
And so I mean, look, it is what it is. No judgment at all.
Well, in their defense, they were giving out Chick-fil-A's before.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, they always been giving out food. That's not nothing new.
No, with the tables, you always get food regardless.
Yeah.
Whether it was Wingstop.
That shit did look like it was a picture from 2019. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what pandemic?
It looked like they didn't skip a beat.
Man, listen.
I ain't even see no masks.
Man, bro. No, I saw quite a few masks. Because even like Charisma and those guys were wearing masks in the DJ booth. But yeah, I was like, man, okay.
I had a different view.
I was like, okay, pals. I was like, man, I'm not mad at them. Get your money.
What escorts page were you on when you were watching it?
I don't know nothing about no escorts, and I don't know nothing about no females, but I just saw something.
Hey, nobody say that about females.
Yeah, that's why I'm just reiterating.
Right.
So everybody's just going to ignore the page I sent.
Escorts got the best views, man. I'm just saying.
They got the best
They got the best angles. They got the best tables.
You were there?
I wasn't there. Took the night off.
You didn't have no sponsor?
No, sponsors out of town.
Shit.
He's in Dubai.
Who said about he? I don't know what you think this is, man.
Oh, man.
Good catch.
Fans only. Fans only. Catch that on Fans Only.
Only fans, Joe. Stop it.
Only fans.
Stop it.
I created my own thing. It's called Fans Only.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Joe owns.
Joe Only.
Man.
He's your only fan. Dear God.
Yeah, so shout out to those guys.
Yeah, shout out to
Penthouse.
Penthouse,
I would suggest if you want to see some real cool partying, your FOMO, then follow their Instagram.
I've been to Penthouse a handful of times, not many times, because it's dangerous in there.
I've been
And
there.
every time
You get in the way.
Every time. No. Fortunately for me, the times I've been there, I haven't really been in the way. I was in the situation. I was able to be in a situation. I left that bitch fucked up, man. Listen, that place is dangerous, man.
Oh yeah.
I just think day parties in general in Los Angeles or
Takes
in
a lot
New York,
out of it.
it's on both ends. As a DJ and as just someone who's just going as a goer, they're fun, man. They're just different.
Look,
This is
in
different.
LA,
man.
it's kind of cool to be able to go, do your thing, have fun, enjoy some beverages, and then be in bed by 9:00.
Yo,
San Diego,
oh my God.
if you're doing a double header, God bless.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, I have this theory that in Vegas, when you go to the reason why a lot of clubs are suffering, the nightclubs are suffering is because
They're not open?
Because when they were open, a lot of people were going to day parties, and
Right.
day parties didn't really pop off in Vegas until rehab, which was like late 2000s,
Right.
late 2000s. But more of them started popping up. So you will go to a day party and you just too fucked up to go out at night. So I think
Public.
Joe was too fucked up to go out.
Joe was too fucked up to go up out that night.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah. I mean, I wasn't drunk, but I was burned out.
Yes, we.
That was a long
I
weekend.
was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
Obviously.
It was like he went to Raging Waters for the day. Like,
Oh man.
you know, Ocean Amusement Park tired. That's
The
tired.
crazy thing is, obviously I don't drink, and it's like, why are you tired? Like, bro, we're 3 days in. I'm fucking burnt. I need a night off.
I was in the lazy river for 3 hours. You fucking leave me alone.
Shit. Trying to get a tube from these kids.
Oh man.
Yo, you know how many dinners I've missed from fucking day parties?
Oh,
Like
man.
somebody makes that 8 o'clock reservation and you're just like, why?
yeah.
Wait, why? Why are you making
Why?
it that early, bro? You know we're not gonna leave the day
Yeah, I'm
party
pretty
till
sure
like 7.
every time we did a day party, and Joe would be like, "We're going to the club at this time."
Yeah.
It was
Nope.
never at that time. Ever.
When I was with the crew,
Man,
they were always late, so it was
doesn't
fine.
we were
Jesus
too,
Christ.
so it worked out.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my
Joe
theory.
knew his
Clubs,
friends.
the clubs' bottom line suffering. Clubs are closing down earlier. Their clubs used to go on to 5 a.m. or whatever, closing down around 3 or so because everyone's getting fucked up at a day party.
Yeah.
Um.
I need,
Hopefully day parties will open back up soon.
yeah, I hope so
Yeah.
too, man.
Yeah, 'cause there ain't no clubs open.
I'm good with the nightclubs not opening up, but
Yeah.
we need the day parties, man.
Some.
Yeah.
We need some. Maybe we'll throw our own party.
Yeah.
Little
Hey,
Airbnb situation.
we all
Oh,
have
yeah.
big backyards, so
Let's go.
No, I'm not doing that shit at my house. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's too much dirt in my
Yeah,
backyard to
fuck
kick
that.
around.
I'm with the Airbnb idea.
Okay.
Fuck somebody else's house.
What else is opening? A mall open, the Topanga Mall, and malls around the country are opening.
Did the,
Yeah.
the Mall
Mickey
of
has a
America open
store.
up yet?
Mickey has a store in the Topanga Mall.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've seen other malls opening up. Arizona, I think, was one of the other ones that there's a lot of activity going on. And
A lot of activity in Arizona, period.
period. It's just-
Jesus.
yeah, true. But yeah, we had our first day of business yesterday. And I gotta say how surprised I was to see a lot of people out,
Mhm.
but not a lot of stores open.
Mhm.
And so that was an interesting kind of like counterbalance. But people are out and about,
Yeah,
and they're
just wanting
wanting
to get
to
out.
burn their money and
Mhm.
swipe their.
Was the food court open?
Food court was open, not all of them.
Okay.
Chipotle was closed.
Is it Brazilian?
No,
Is it Brazilian spot?
Chipotle was
More
not
importantly,
closed.
the Brazilian spot was open.
Fantastic.
Chipotle was
nigga said
open.
fantastic.
Jamba Juice not open.
Really?
Mm.
Coffee Bean not open.
Mm.
Some real
Yo,
key
key,
players.
bro,
Yeah.
it's
Panda
Coffee Bean's time to
Express.
shine right now.
Yeah. What fucking?
Can't remember. Yeah, but there's a couple spots missing.
Yeah.
But it's just an interesting perspective, like to see kind of the next step. Of course, security is hounding you for not wearing a mask.
Oh yeah,
Good for them.
as they
Um,
should be.
Lines for Gucci and Louis Vuitton are ridiculous.
Really,
Like
of course.
you can't even get in at a certain point if you line up at a certain time. People are
Wow.
pissed if you don't let them in. In our case, we have a pretty large space and we're capping 6 people at a time,
Mm.
ideally. Of course, like if you see like little kids, like you don't count them.
Yeah, I mean your space is huge though, so 6 people is like nothing.
Yeah, it's spaced out because
Yeah.
we're also light on staff,
Mm.
but it's just it's a process. And
Well, that mall is like Calabasas. People live in Calabasas, and it's a very wealthy area around that mall, and they
Yeah,
have
for
nowhere else
sure.
to go but that mall. So
Woodland Hills.
the privileged are going to be pissed if they can't burn a couple racks in Gucci.
I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
who, but I saw a celebrity, or I'm not. Whatever artist, singer, rapper guy. He was mobbing around with his entourage,
Well, I can name 5 off the bat right now. I can- who that might be.
and then
Probably live in Calabasas too. huh?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
a rhyme for
Yeah.
snake.
We're narrowing it down. There's only a handful that live in Calabasas.
Come on, give us more hints.
guess who, does he wear glasses?
Oh, we got to get a clue going on now.
Charades real quick.
Right. But there's a huge line for Apple across the bridge for those that are familiar with the space.
Yeah.
And he literally just walked right up, said what's up to one of his boys that worked inside Apple, and
Just walked right in.
just cut everybody.
Boom.
And I'm just like, yeah, that's, I
Privilege.
mean, that's how it is. You know?
Privilege.
Just like the club.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Same thing. Everything carries over. Yeah, we got a rope. My staff. Yeah, that's how it feels. But we keep one of the employees at the front to control the door. And he goes, I'm like, hey, fuck with people and to be like, are you on the list?
Do you use a
How much
temperature
money
gun?
you spend?
We just ordered one.
Oh, okay. Oh, you
Yeah.
noticing like a lot of stores using them?
No,
No?
I see Apple. And that's why okay, I'll tell you how it went down. One of my managers was like, yo, we should get a temperature gun. And I said, I feel like that's judgy. Like it's kind of like,
Well, not if you're doing everybody.
well, okay, if this rapper guy comes in with his entourage and I don't gun him,
Yeah.
and then there's people waiting in line, I'm gunning them. Isn't
So,
that
so
like,
well, what's the issue with just gunning
The
with
rapper
gunning
guy.
Gunna?
how do you think he's gonna feel?
Well, he shouldn't. Like, dude, people are dying.
It's protocol.
Like, yeah,
Okay.
this is like you can. He doesn't know.
Also, it's
you can
protocol
say
to wait in line.
you can say it's
motherfucker.
against the law. If I don't, I have to gun.
It is not
Gunna.
against the law.
But you can say that they won't know the Gunna won't
He has
know the
a
difference.
platform.
Why you keep saying?
Why you keep saying gunner?
It's the gunna. He goes to the gunna squared.
Yeah.
No, he came in too. It's funny. I know him, right? I have a relationship with
Gunna?
him. He's a client. No, not Gunna. The rapper. Oh, let's just go with Gunna. Fuck it. At this point, it's Gunna.
It is good.
At this point, it's Gunna.
It's not gonna end up on
So
All
anyway,
Star. We're fine.
Yeah, fine. Whatever. Nobody's going to believe the story anyway. So Gunna walks into the shop yesterday, and he pulls up with his big ass security, and he's got the mask, you know, the way people are rocking the mask with the one ear. Yeah, and just let the other one, just in case you got to slide it over.
Yeah.
So then I see him, and I took my mask off to breathe. And so I'm about to put my mask on, and as I'm putting my mask on, he just yells at me, bro, you ain't got to do that shit. I ain't got the Rona. And I was like, all right. And I guess that's where we're at, you know, like that's how you feel.
I said, how you know I don't got it?
True. So
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know, man. Everybody has a thing. I just wait for which body part is extended, and then you got to like reciprocate, right?
But they would give you a heads up typically, right?
Who?
Like your artist friends.
Hell no.
No,
they
they
just
just pop
Motherfuckers
up.
just pull up.
Okay.
Like another friend who's well off and does well. He pulled up, and the mall closes at 7, and then at 6:58, he walks in the store, kind of on some like, "Yo, just want to say what's up. I was shopping for my trip," and I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool." He's like, "I'm like, but your hands are empty." He goes, "Yeah, everybody closed." I'm like, "Yeah, you pulled up at 6:58." He goes, and I was like, "All right, what size you wear?
Yeah.
Let's figure something out." Ended up spending
No
some
sweat
money.
off your back.
No.
I'll take the change.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take the swipe. But yeah, so and it's been good, man.
Speaking of privileged athletes and artists and all that, you sold a bike to.
I wasn't gonna name his name.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll clip this out.
No, just bloopy because now it's even funner.
All right, Sean, make sure you boot.
Now we
this,
know
Sean.
3 syllables. What color is his
His
hair?
whole name.
So you sold a bike to Gunna.
He didn't even say
Tell us about that.
So, okay, so we had I posted this pic. I wanted to bring it up because this is funny, and I told the fellas literally all week this is a funny ass story, but I have to tell you live for your reaction because I felt crazy when it happened. But so we had this motorcycle. Sorry,
Bicycles, like,
Dirt bike.
Don't
Dirt bike.
disrespect it.
Disrespect the bike.
Come on, I don't
It
even.
sounds crazy. Even you wanted.
I ride a bicycle.
Right.
That is a dirt bike.
Okay, so it's a Honda CRF. Now I'm gonna give you the real shit. 250
Boom.
RX. Made collaboration with Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
It was only sold to friends and family. It retailed for $10,000, and you had to go wait and pick it up from the Honda dealership. So it wasn't sold through Supreme. It wasn't sold through whatever. It was just
Mhm.
privately sold to
They
people.
just
who
threw a
wanted it.
Supreme shell on it and made it.
I mean, it's literally a
shitload of
Supreme
money.
vinyl
Yeah.
sticker on it.
Sticker on it,
probably,
probably,
yeah.
but or paint job.
It's a red dirt bike with
So
a
then-
sticker on it.
I got offered one, like in October last year. And randomly, I decided to just kind of throw it in my close friends. And somebody hit me back with, I have somebody that's interested. I said, okay, cool. And Gunna, the athlete. And so athlete Gunna. And so athlete Gunna's friend,
AG,
right? Thugger, if you want, sure.
AGT.
So he's just trying to get at me. Anyway, his friend hits me. He's like, yo, I want it. How much?
Mm.
And so I'm like, oh, we'd listed at this much, but we're going to give it to you for this much. We sold it for, bleep that out. But for the sake
That's him.
Sentences, that's how much we sold it for, right? And I want you guys to have the context. Then, but he's in season, right? So he can't get it. And I can't deliver it because the two places he would either has his house at or where he's playing a season just doesn't make sense for him to have it yet. So they're like, yo, can you store it till we come back to LA, you know, because they live in Bel Air. So then I was like, all right, cool. So this is now November. I get the wire and we handle the transaction. Now this thing is just sitting in my store. Now all I'm thinking about is I got to hide this shit. And I got to hide it before anybody sees it. Like, I don't want to see a picture leak. I don't want to see any of my staff sitting on it. Like, this shit's too much money for me to, like, fuck it up.
Yeah.
Where'd you hide it? What store?
Huh?
What store?
Where did I hide it? The Topanga store. It was in one of the fitting rooms, and we barricaded it with a bunch of shit and then closed it off so it didn't look like anything was in there that they would touch. So then, fast forward, we're now here in, June.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And finally, after the pandemic and after the looting scares and everything else, which that was the other thing that I never made public, but definitely a huge concern happening at the time.
Can you imagine breaking in there and coming up on a Supreme dirt bike?
Yo, I tried rolling that thing.
Yeah. Oh man, that bitch threw them all.
And it has gas, so like it was ready to go. But so anyway, we end up taking it out. This bitch is heavy as fuck. I'm being the most careful I've ever been with anything, right? Getting it out of the store, putting it into this small ass elevator, like just barely, if you turn the wheel, it fits, bring it up. And so I had a box truck with a lift gate, and I was like, oh, like this is a perfect opportunity for me to deliver it to him because I have this truck.
Yeah.
And then we put it in the truck and we strap it down and like tight and everything's ready to go, right? And so I'm ready to do this delivery. We drive to Bel Air. And like, it's so funny. Dan Bilzerian's house just looks like it's like the evil guy in the movie, like where he has a whole mountain and like spaceships come out that bitch. Bro, this shit is crazy. It's like 4 levels. It's got LED lighting for some reason.
For some reason.
Parties.
You know, whatever.
Just to have it.
For the vibes, right? And then if you go further up, this is where this guy lives. And, you know, I'm driving this truck. I'm driving it slow. And then we pull up into the driveway. I call up, you know, Gunna and friends. And they're both there. And I'm like, oh, first I'm like, oh, you look just like you look on video, but shorter. And then I'm like hyping them up. Man, I had to hide this thing. I've had it on hold for, you know, for whatever amount of time. I'm happy that we finally get to you guys. Boom, 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 boom. Then as my employee's lifting the gate, I'm still talking to them. And I turn around and the bike is on the floor. Bruh.
You're fired.
Wait.
Bro.
It was on the floor in the bed of the truck?
No.
Or it was on the ground.
But you didn't hear
the concrete.
No. It was inside the truck.
Right.
And like I'm on the truck, standing, like opening the lift gate, ready to like, you know, and then when we go, like literally, rah, and then you're like, oh shit. And it's literally, it's an entire wood floor truck. So then, but the bike is like plain dead looking, like it's just like laying on the ground. And I'm like, oh fuck. Yeah. And then I'm looking at them And I look at my employee, and my employee's going over there. He's going to lift it, and I can hear them going like, "Yo, did they just move this shit? Like laying down, sliding in the back of the fucking truck."
Yeah.
I could hear that, right? And while I'm hearing that, I go to my employee. I go, he's about to whip out his phone to flashlight on the side where it fell. And I'm like, don't you fucking turn on that fucking flashlight. Just lift it up. And if they say anything, we'll say something. Like, we'll figure it out. But do not look worried. And he's like, okay, fuck. So he lifted up. And then he's looking at it. I'm just trusting. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking look at this shit. I'm just going to roll it out.
Yep.
I'm committed to this situation.
Yeah,
Here we go. Just what you ordered.
Yeah. Just like you ordered it.
Yep. As advertised.
So we roll that bitch, fucking bring it down the lift gate. And when we were lifting, I forgot to mention, it just smelled like gas in the truck. And then so apparently, as I was lifting it, I wasn't paying attention because I was so committed to like selling this, like everything's okay. My employee later told me on the way home, he goes, yo, the reason it smelled like gas is because one of the tubes got disconnected probably when it fell. He goes, I connected that shit while you were moving it so that it was fine. And I said, oh shit. So then I put it down the lift gate. They're looking at it. I could tell they're looking at it a little extra. And then I just like move it into the garage and they're looking at it. And then I never looked. But my employee took a couple ganders. Not a scratch.
Really?
Bruh.
Man.
Wow.
What time of the day was this that you delivered it?
It was right at sunset. It was like 8.
Oh, okay.
So
So
they didn't start it.
But it was
light
but it
outside
was it was in the garage where it was very well lit.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know. To be honest with you, to this day, to this second, which I still gotta go back there and deliver the pink slip. But my interaction with them has been all good since. So unless they say something,
They're not friends of the pod, are they?
I don't think he'll. I mean, this is a really well-known guy.
There's got to be something in his contract that says he's not allowed to be on motorcycles.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
But he had a
Jason
little
Williams.
motorcycle in
All right.
there.
Yeah.
Like a little one
Oh, okay.
with his number on it. So he definitely rides that one.
Yeah. Well, all right. Maybe just collecting.
I mean, from what I heard from them, and this is what I told them too, and that's why I think they were impressing me on like, because I had said, oh, I got to bring you the keys. Because it's just a bag that has like this like special lock for it so that people can't steal it. And then, but it's not like a key. It's just like like your wheel lock, if you will.
Yeah.
And so it's got one of those and then a manual and the pink slip. But I was like, where the fuck are the keys at? And then I had to Google it. The motherfuckers don't got keys. So, but I told them, yo, do not write it until I bring a mechanic. Because I want to bring them a motorcycle mechanic to at least swap out the gas and the oil because it was sitting in storage since November. So some of that stuff could go bad.
Yeah.
And if you start it, you're fucked. So I know they haven't write it. They shouldn't write it. He shouldn't write it. But they're supposed to hold on to it.
That nigga's heart dropped. He saw
I
that shit
can
on the
imagine.
floor.
His, my heart.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah.
See, I got the pass, people.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I had to share that with y'all because
That's funny.
that was probably one of the toughest things I've ever had to endure as a seller or owner of this business.
Hey, man.
My heart.
Somebody's looking over your shoulder with no scratches on that thing.
Oh my God,
Man.
bro. Anyway, fun times. Let's see 'em.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, we got mixes. Shout out to Chisel.
Yep.
For
Chisel.
dropping his mix. And,
Yes, sir.
Chisel.
yeah, big shout out to him. And next up, we have Jordan Nold.
Yup.
All this
Yeah.
Hollywood talk. We got a Hollywood guy on. I think it's our first Hollywood guy. No? Yeah.
Is it?
Is it
I think so,
I don't know
from
if-
what I can recall.
Hollywood?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah, Jordan Nold, the resident around Hollywood. It's got a day party opening up at Sky Bar I think it's on the west side, right? West Hollywood.
Mhm.
Yep. And yeah, so if you missed our mixes, we every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Pitbull's Globalization Channel 13.
Yep.
And if you missed that hour, we post all our mixes on our MixCloud under the MikiDz Show
Yeah.
name. And that's it for us.
Yup.